Coming up next, I do a first impression of Olfactory Studio's Flashback in New York. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. This is Joel the Nose coming to you from Miami as usual. And today I'm going to do a first impression of the French niche house Olfactory Studio and their 2018 release, Flashback in New York. And you can see here I have actually, it's a pretty cool sample. It's not like your typical, folding open little booklet sample box. It's actually something that, so the sample came in here, okay? And let me just read it to you because it's kind of cool. This is how they describe it. An exuberant and full of contrast fragrance, Flashback in New York is a tribute to this city that stops for nothing, even the fiercest of blizzards. This fragrance is like fire under ice, starts with an energetic blend of cumin, saffron, and sage, or a captivating heart note of violet, Tuscan leather, and vetiver. So I don't really know much about Olfactory Studio. I've heard good things about them. To be honest with you, this is the first fragrance I've smelled by them. And I did get this, by the way, at Scent Explore a couple weeks ago. So this was one of the samples, free samples I got. If you go to Scent Explore, these are one of the cool little goodies you get. You get experience to new houses. So I have here, as you can see, a decant. It says Olfactory Studio on it, and then it does say Flashback in New York. I don't know, maybe a little bit hard to read, but so I have the decant here, and let me read you the notes real quickly. Again, this is Flashback in New York 2018. This is a unisex eau de parfum. The top notes are Cumin, Clary, sage, and saffron. The heart notes are violet, jasmine, Tuscan leather, and the base notes are birch smoke, papyrus, vetiver, Tonka bean. The nose behind this, or the perfumer, is Jerome Epinette. He's done stuff for Ariana Grande, Zara, Banana Republic, so he's done a lot of kind of big name celebrity and designer or fragrances. Let me just go ahead and give you the first impression now. Again, here's just a little decant. Let me put that there. So I sprayed this a couple hours ago, so I'm giving you my first impression, or really it's a kind of a second impression. And it's a very pleasant fragrance. Right off the top, I get a ton of saffron and the cumin, because I get a punch of sweetness and a little spiciness from the cumin. And the saffron to me is always a little spicy, a little sweet, a little effervescent. And it's funny, I just this week, about a week ago, reviewed Oud for Greatness, and when I was smelling this, I'm like, this reminds me of something I just smelled. And it reminds me of Oud for Greatness from the standpoint, there's a lot of saffron at the top notes of Oud for Greatness. Same here. So this is a kind of a warm, spicy, effervescent. I think it would be, just like its name says, Flashback in New York. I think this would be good for a cold New York day, right now in the autumn or the fall. I describe this, saffron to me comes across as an effervescent lemon lime soda, like a Shirley Temple, which has grenadine all mixed in. I get that kind of feel. It's sweet, effervescent. And so on this first impression, it's kind of like Oud for Greatness without the oud. So some people don't like oud. I'm starting to, for me, oud is something that I'm beginning to enjoy, and it's been an acquired taste, and I like it in small doses. So, but this is something that doesn't have oud, not that I know of. So maybe you would like this. Again, I don't think it's anything necessarily unique. I don't know, to be honest, whether the name Flashback in New York, this doesn't necessarily remind me of New York. When I think of New York, I actually when I think of a New York perfume, I want something a little bit tough, maybe even a little bit dirty, a little bit grimy. Not that New York is dirty or grimy, but of course there's that element to it that, kind of that tough as balls attitude. So I don't necessarily see that connection here, but Maybe in the dry down it is, because the dry down looks very interesting with smoke and vetiver and Tuscan leather. So I'll do a full review later to see how it goes. But my initial impression, it's nice. You know, it's kind of basic. It's saffron. It's very saffron heavy at the top. So I think most people are going to find that very pleasing. I think it'll be, it could be unisex because that saffron comes off a little bit sweet. So I think it could be worn masculine or female. People are going to like it either way. But, you know, let's see how it dries down. My first impression is probably not something I would go purchase. This doesn't stand out that much to me, but you know, again, I'm going to give it a chance to see how it goes on the dry down. So if you have any comments, if you've worn this before, if you want to give an opinion, please leave it. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. As Santa says, please subscribe. He'll leave you some extra gifts maybe in your stocking this year. And this is Joel the Nose coming to you from Miami as usual. Have a great day, everybody.